Hello everyone, this is Future Steve here. You're going to be seeing me pop up in this video, and that's because as I was editing this video, this situation has been evolving so quickly and it's gotten to the point where it is absolutely just massive right now. Like, this is a global phenomenon at this point that has far-reaching consequences. Like, financial textbooks are going to be writing about this. I swear they will be. It's gotten to the point where Biden's team is looking into the effects of this. Like, it is massive. And personally, this event really interests me because it really dives into the deep-rooted issues of ethics within the investment world. I personally find it crazy that hedge funds and very large investment institutions are the ones who get to set the rules of the game that they play. And then when the people decide that they don't want to play that game, then the hedge funds and institutions just say, you know what, we're just calling the game off, we're shutting it down then. And Robinhood, are you serious? Are you actually serious right now? You're gonna prevent people from buying a stock? There's going to be a class action lawsuit coming for sure. Watch this video to the end if you want to see if I'm in on this trade. So I'm excitedly watching this unfold. And with all that being said, enjoy today's video. Do you remember the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny? Well, there's an ultimate showdown taking place right here today, but instead of Godzilla, Batman, and Abraham Lincoln, it's a group of degenerate traders, and I say that term lovingly, versus Wall Street over a very unlikely stock, Gamestop. And so in today's video, I'll tell you what happened, why it's important, and a very important piece of information that no one is talking about. Do you ever wonder if the world actually did end back in 2012 like the Mayans predicted, and at this point we're kind of just living in this weird alternate version of reality? Well, today's story might make you think so. This epic saga begins with a young man with a weird cat obsession and balls of steel.
Cheers, everybody!
I salute you, and I am honored to be telling part of your tale. So this absolute legend, who I will call DFV, turned an initial investment of $50,000 into over $13 million. Hey, Future Steve here again. Yeah, that $13 million that he had on Wednesday has now turned into $47.9 million. By the time this video actually goes live, that number may be much, much more. And guess what? He has not sold. Pure savagery. And in the process, he has rallied thousands of retail investors like you or me to share in the gains of one of the most massive short squeezes ever seen in the history of mankind, and bringing Wall Street to its knees. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know that I definitely have no love for the old guard of the investment world. You know, I was going to be a financial advisor at one point. I was pretty much completed my training, I had completed my exams, and I was about to be handed a six-figure book to manage. But I decided to walk away because I felt the same thing that many retail investors are feeling today. And that's that Wall Street and the big investment industry kind of acts like a gatekeeper to all of us, and they oftentimes take advantage of us. So I'm really pumped to see this battle taking place right now. An army of retail investors is going head to head in a long versus short battle against firms like Melvin Capital and Citron. And currently, retail is winning by a landslide. This fellow, DFV, back in September of 2019, a while ago, he posted his original investment thesis on GameStop. And in this post, he basically broke down his idea that GameStop was an undervalued company. It had been misjudged by many of the people in the investment world. So he was building a position in this, and he was encouraging other people to take a look at it as well. So over time, more and more people began to actually see the value in his perspective on this particular stock. But on the Wall Street side, firms like Melvin Capital and Citron were deciding to heavily short the stock, which means to bet against it so that if it goes down in value, they will profit. And the reason that they were shorting this stock is because they thought it was probably an easy win. I mean, the future of retail is shifting to online, not brick and mortar stores. So they thought that by shorting GameStop, that would be an easy win, just like Blockbuster went out of business in the movie industry. But instead, the company has not died off. In fact, their stock price has risen over 2,000% this year. Now that's due in part to the company actually having a turnaround in their business, but most recently, this is due to a combination of a massive short squeeze as well as a gamma squeeze that are both working together in this kind of crazy positive feedback loop that's driving the stock up to crazy levels. And the fact that the stock has risen so much in value is actually super important to the company GameStop and can actually help it in the long run. Yeah, so these investors may have turned into activist investors without even really knowing it. This is actually something that also happened to Tesla, and it really helped them out in the long term. This is a super important piece of information that I haven't really seen too many people talking about, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So here's kind of the way this works in a nutshell. If I'm a company and I need to raise money, I can do one of two things. I can either go and get some debt, or I can issue shares. I can issue more shares into the stock market. So let's say I want to go that route. I want to issue shares. So if I do that, let's say I wanted to issue 10,000 shares of my company into the market, and let's say my stock was trading at $1 per share. That means I can get $10,000 for these shares of my company. But what if my share price increases? What if it increased to $10, let's say? Well, now my 10,000 shares are worth $100,000, and that's a massive difference. I've sold the same number of shares, but I'm getting way more money for it. And that's exactly what Tesla did last year. So they had a meteoric rise in value, and guess what they did? They sold a bunch of shares for billions of dollars. But because their stock price was so high, they didn't have to sell as many shares to get those billions of dollars. But now that they have those billions of dollars, they can use them to further expand and grow their business. So a company's stock price increasing in value can actually greatly help that company in the long run if they choose to use that as a way to kind of finance their business. And this can happen with GameStop. Because their share price is so high right now, I would not at all be surprised to see them issuing shares to raise money to help further turn around their business. I mean, it would be a really great opportunity for them to do just that. So not only has Wallstreetbets made themselves rich, but they're also playing an activist investor role by greatly improving the future prospects of GameStop. Now, this is wild. I've never seen retail investors be able to directly support a company in this way before, except for maybe like Tesla. And because this stock has risen so much in value, these Wall Street firms are losing so much money right now. In fact, Melvin Capital, they are literally at the point right now of having to get bailed out by Citadel, who is a huge company in the investment world. Citadel has had to put $2 billion into Melvin Capital to basically help them stay afloat because they're losing so much money right now. I mean, retail investors are just completely pummeling Wall Street. This is both hilarious and amazing to see. It's gotten to the point where even rogue billionaires like Chamath are trying to get in on the action. So he put out a tweet asking basically for people's input in what he should YOLO some money on. And funny enough, one of the co-founders of Reddit actually responded to the tweet and was like, I know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be GameStop. And that's because he knows how powerful Wallstreetbets is as a community. And sure enough, it was GameStop. Chamath decided to basically put over $100,000 into call options on GameStop. So yeah, those call options that he bought with $100,000, they've now turned into over $500,000, and he's donating those proceeds to a good cause. And on top of that, he went on CNBC and absolutely just laid it on the hedge funds and traditional investment institutions. You should definitely watch his interview if you get a chance. I mean, this subreddit is just such a hotbed of this new wave of investor culture. People are really trying to track like what types of stocks this community is investing in. There's even a website called Swaggy Stocks that tracks exactly this. What a time to be alive. You know, I've known about Wallstreetbets for quite some time now. I was reading posts on there back before diamond hands was a common phrase, back before there was high quality memes, and also back before there was rocket ship emojis in the title of every single post. And say what you will about that community, they're definitely very vulgar and politically incorrect, for sure. But they also represent this massive power shift from kind of the old guard of finance, like Wall Street, to the people, to retail. And since so many people are making money off of this GameStop trade, you know what a lot of the people on Wallstreetbets are actually doing with a portion of their gains? They're donating it to charity. When's the last time you saw a hedge fund do that? Well, actually, I guess you could say that Melvin Capital and Citron is donating their wealth to Wallstreetbets.
Whoa, clear out the room, I'm coming through, they wanna see what I'm about.
In all seriousness, I just read a post on Wallstreetbets about a guy who has a 2.5-year-old pit bull who needed knee surgery. And he wasn't able to afford knee surgery for his dog. So it was at the point where his dog was basically just going to have to try and walk and end up blowing out his other leg, to the point where he was going to have to end up putting his dog down. But because he put a little bit of money into this trade, he was able to earn enough to pay for the surgery for his dog. That's going to essentially save his dog's life. And honestly, I felt really emotional reading that story, because that's just a beautiful thing. So not only have they made themselves rich, they're also playing an activist role in a company, and they're donating money to charity. Once again, I will ask, when is the last time you saw a hedge fund do that? Now, I feel like I must say, especially for the new investors here, that this type of thing is definitely not normal. I mean, it's not every day you can go to a stock forum and read the posts and just buy what everybody's talking about and it'll go up 10x in value. Although that is exactly what's happening right now. But the point is that it's not normal, okay? I've been paying attention to the markets for almost a decade now, and I can tell you that this is not normal at all. Now, I'm not here to tell you what to do, what not to do. I just want you to be aware that this is a very specific phenomenon that we are witnessing right now, and nobody really knows necessarily what's going to happen. It's really some strange territory we're in. Look, I used to trade options.
Theta gang, what up?
So I get it, trust me. I was generally more the type to be like delta neutral, sell the vol type of guy, but I mean, I still get it. I get the desire to be in on these big trades. My personal 2 cents I would give you is to learn about risk management and how that relates to asymmetric trades. You know, if you have a wife, a husband, kids, a mortgage, 2 car loans, a maxed out credit card, maybe don't put all your life savings into a trade, you know? Is the potential gain worth the potential risk? That's the question that I would ask myself. And I would also say that if you are currently in on the trade, be very wary about Wall Street basically trying to change sentiment right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they created fake accounts on Reddit and started posting on those forums, or they went on the news and spread a lot of stories and stuff like that. They're going to be trying to get these people to sell their shares because they're in a really tough spot right now. And the longer that people hold these shares and buy more of them, the more they're screwed. So they're going to be actively trying to manipulate the story, manipulate the sentiment.
Yeah, like Robinhood, straight up manipulating trades like that. They've completely sided with Wall Street on this one.
Manipulate you to basically get out of your shares if you currently hold them. So definitely watch out for that. They can be very sneaky and very manipulative. Me personally, I'm not participating. I'm cheering from the sidelines. As I've grown slightly older and slightly wiser in my life, I know I'm not that old, but when I first started investing, I was pretty young. I've kind of gone more towards the passive approach for my investments, because that kind of frees me up to take bigger risks in other areas of my life, like, you know, telling my former job that I wanted to quit my very secure, high-paying corporate job to make YouTube videos in my studio apartment about degenerate traders on Reddit and wear track pants all day.
Okay, guys, have to be honest with you. I was thinking to myself, I was imagining myself being an old man, let's say like 80 years old, and I'm talking to my grandkids one day, and they're like, Grandpa, where were you in the big squeeze that happened to GameStop? Because it'll be a legendary event by then. So I was thinking to myself, I can't not be involved in this thing. So I bought one share. Let's go! I'm already up like 100% too.
Whoa, buy me some shares. Give me a share.
Oh, and I don't care if I lose this money, but if I do make money off of this, I'm going to be donating it to some type of charity or something like that.
And DFV, the man, the myth, the legend. If you somehow end up watching this, I hope you become a billionaire, buddy. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Share this with somebody who you think might like it. And thank you so much for watching. See you again soon.
Clear out the room, I'm coming through. They wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill. I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it.